Doctor Wolfenclaw is a rather interesting character in the lore of the universe outside the Gungeon, though his most notable role in the actual game is as the creator of the final boss of the Hunter's Past, Dr. Wolf's monster. In this video, I'm going to go through the functional side of this character in the game, alongside his relevance in the story and his very strong ties to the Gungeon. So let's go. Dr. Wolf appears exclusively in the Hunter's Past, first as an NPC to deliver dialogue and unleash his monster, and then as an actual enemy who runs around the room. When in his enemy state, if Dr. Wolf is allowed to stay still, he will pull out a strange device and begin to buff his monster with an effect the same as the Gunsingers of the Gungeon. This is also the only time Dr. Wolf can take damage, because while running, Dr. Wolf has an invincibility shield remarkably similar to the ones that non-combative NPCs have. During his enemy state, Dr. Wolf has 52 health. I'm noting this here because it's nowhere to be found on the wiki, so just in case anyone's curious. Dr. Wolf can die during his enemy state, though because of the weird nature of the pasts, it's unclear if this is actually canon. Dr. Wolf is an evil scientist working under an organization in the universe of Gungeon known as the Blacksword. Keep in mind that the Hunter's Past takes place 1,147 years ago, so the Blacksword may well not exist in the present day, but the point is that it has existed. The Blacksword has its own military forces, as evidenced from the flavor text of this cryogenic pod, which contains a high-ranking member of said forces. Wolf's specific experiments and goals are never made clear. The game never goes into detail on what his work is actually supposed to achieve, though it is doubtlessly nothing good. In the original timeline, Dr. Wolf traps the Hunter in a cryopod with the intent to experiment on her, where she is trapped for over 1,000 years before being released under unknown circumstances. Dr. Wolfenclaw's fate and future work after trapping the Hunter is unknown. When the Hunter goes back after using the gun, the Doctor's fate is death, regardless of whether he's killed during the fight or not. Upon the monster being defeated, Wolfenclaw dies instantly for no apparent reason. The Ammonomicon entry for Dr. Wolf's monster goes over the Hunter's reasons for attempting to take down Wolf in the first place. According to this description, the Hunter was chasing an artifact that the Ammonomicon simply refers to as the Relic, but the Blacksword got to this relic first, allowing Dr. Wolfenclaw to use it in his experiments. Why the Doctor needed the relic specifically is unknown, but he uses it to power a quote, occult machine. We never learn what this machine does. The relic in question seems to be this sword, held aloft by the aforementioned machine in the center of the boss room of the Hunter's Past. The sprites of this sword refer to it simply as the Magic Sword. Dr. Wolfenclaw's surprisingly strong connection to the Gungeon is one of the major reasons I wanted to make this video. There's so much evidence for it, and while some pieces of evidence are stronger than others, it's all worth mentioning. I'm going to start off with the weaker examples and build up to the best stuff. The Hunter's Past is one of only 2 pasts that feature a door blocker to keep the player in the boss room, the other one being the Marine's Past. Now, while the Marine's Past has a cute and unique laser door blocker seen nowhere else in the game, the Hunter's Past uses the door blocker of the Gungeon proper instead. Normally I'd just say that they were reusing sprites to save time, but considering that there's already a unique past door blocker in the game, it begs the question. Remember the relic from earlier? Well, while it sits suspended above the machine in Wolf's lab, it continually releases a black particle effect that's identical to the effect that cursed items give off while dropped or in the shop. Now, I've mentioned this in my Obscure Characters video, but all curse in the Gungeon canonically stems from the bones of a necromantic gunsmith named Nugan. These bones lie somewhere in the hollow, so items with the same type of curse found in the Gungeon being outside the Gungeon would be rare if not impossible. This could just be the devs reusing particle effects, but coupled with all the other links, it's certainly suspicious. On the desks at the very back of the monster boss room, this purple globe can be seen. This globe appears nowhere else in the game. Now, this could just be a coincidence, but a world with purple oceans definitely seems to resemble what we know of Ganymede, as evidenced by the title screen. Now this is where things start to get a lot more solid. In the foyer of Dr. Wolf's manor, 2 statues can be seen depicting a disturbing satyr-like being. These gargoyles are not unique to Dr. Wolfenclaw's foyer, however, as the head of the gargoyle can also be seen carved in stone along the back of the Old King's boss room, spewing blood into a bowl. Now, the debate on what this gargoyle is fascinating in itself. Why is it important enough to be depicted in the Old King's boss room alongside statues of caliber? But for the time being, I'll just stick to Dr. Wolf. This is the final thing I want to show you in this segment. In the same foyer in which the gargoyles stand, several banners can be seen along the walls. These banners are usually only clearly visible when lightning flashes through the windows, but what they depict confirms, to me at least, that Dr. Wolf has studied the Gungeon to an extent. These banners show not only a human holding a sword aloft and a human skull, but also the skull of a Revolvenant, the Door Lord, and the head of what I assume to be the Dragon. I don't know about you, but all this pretty much confirms to me that Wolf has at some point studied or even possibly visited the Gungeon. There are a couple things that imply that the Blacksword Organisation are basically space Nazis, such as an attack from Dr. Wolf's monster being reminiscent of the Nazi Party's symbol of an eagle atop a swastika, and the fact that Dr. Wolf's full name, Wolfenclaw, is reminiscent of the name of the game series Wolfenstein, which is about fighting Nazis. The appearance of Dr. Wolf's monster even seems to be a reference to the style of some enemies in Wolfenstein. The whole plotline with the Relic seems to follow the trope of Nazi occultism present in a lot of popular media, which would have you believe that Nazis were obsessive collectors of occult and otherwise magical artifacts for their nefarious means, such as in the plot of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Some pieces of popular media that dabble in the trope of occult Nazism are, conveniently enough, early Wolfenstein games. So that's that then. Dr. Wolfenclaw was an evil scientist working under an organization known as the Blacksword, who were basically space Nazis. They got their hands on a magical relic for their experiments that the Hunter was also chasing, which is why she confronted them. There's a lot of evidence implying that Dr. Wolf knows of the Gungeon and may have studied it. That's all I have to show you in this video. Please let me know if there's anything I missed. See ya! There are a couple things that imply that the Blacksword Organisation are basically space Nazis, such as an attack from Dr. Wolf's Muncher.
I'm the Muncher. Hey kid, wanna buy a used gun?